Good morning, everyone. Hey, how you guys doing today? I don't know about you, but I'm thankful to be here. Come on, guys, let's start some worship. Who's like you, Lord, great in all your ways? To you I bring my praise. To you I bring all I have. Who is like you, Lord, rule with strength and might, from the greatest throne of all that no one can describe. Come on, sing this out. How great you are, 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 how great. Who is like you, Lord, great in all your ways? To you I bring my praise. To you I bring all I have. Who is like you, Lord? You rule with strength and might, for the greatest throne of all that no one can describe. Come on, how great, and how great you are, how great you are, how great you are, how great. And how great you are, how great you are, how great you are, how great. Come on. There's no one like you, no one like you, no one like you, Lord. There's no one like you, no. Come on, Lord, you guys sing this out. How great! How great you are! How great you are! How great you are! How great! How great you are! How great you are! How great you are! How great! And how great you are, how great you are, how great you are, how great, and how great you are, how great you are, how great you are, how great. Hey, good morning, everybody. You okay? It's what we call Thanksgiving Sunday. And we're supposed to always be grateful, right? But it seems like we need one time a year to remind us of that, and then we carry that out for several days, don't we? A heart of gratitude. It's so hard. It's one of the hardest things to the human nature. It's remaining in a state of gratefulness. The Lord says to give thanks with a grateful heart. The psalmist was recording many, many things that were not right about his life when he said that. But if we can stop, just stop the noise of life and just ponder the goodness of God. We have to sing this. Emily, sing this out there. I want to be able to hear you. Come on, just sing. Say, give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Come on, sing that again. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks. Give thanks. Come on, let's sing about His goodness. I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. And all my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. Come on, sing all my life. And all my life you have been faithful. 'Cause all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in the darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have lived in the goodness of God. Come on, all my life. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. 'Cause all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. And I will sing of the goodness of God. Sing this with me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Come on, lift your hands. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. 'Cause your goodness is running after, it's running after me. your hands together. Come on, let's sing this now. I'll remember you. You are the Lord of all the earth and all the heavens too. I'll remember you. You are the one who made it all, and all was made for you. In your image I was made. I exist to bring you praise. All the days I live belong to you. Come on, let's shout it. And you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Every breath I take. And you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Every step I take. I'll remember you. You are the King of all the earth and all the kingdoms too. And I'll remember you. You are the one who saves us all, and all was saved for you. In your image. In your image I was made. I exist to bring you praise. All the days I live belong to you. Come on, sing it out. And you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Every step I take. And you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Every step I take. Come on, I want to hear you shout it. And you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Every breath I take. And you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Every step I take. And you. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thankful to be here. Why don't you tell your neighbor how thankful you are to see him?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Cornerstone Family Church. If you're visiting with us today, we're so glad that you guys are here. Hey, church family at home, watching now or watching later. I want to thank everybody that went on our field trip with us to the Catholic Church for the prayer vigil last Monday. It was a very special service, so if you took time out to bundle up on that cold, chilly night, thank you so much. And tonight we have another field trip, church family. Tonight we are going to Emmanuel Baptist Church. It's on Route 20, right past Quail Valley on the right. And the Church of Princeton comes together for their annual Thanksgiving community service. We'll be there for about an hour. There will be childcare. And it's just always so good just to come together with other people in other churches and get to visit another church that we don't ever get to go to. So tonight at 6 o'clock, if you can, join us at Emmanuel Baptist. We'll be there for about an hour, and we usually have refreshments afterwards. But it's always just a good time to come together as the Church of Princeton. We've got about 21 Towers bags left, so thank you for taking them. If you haven't got yours this morning, please get it this morning. They are due back the first Sunday in December, December 3rd. So thank you guys for blessing our neighbors right around the corner with bags of Christmas cheer and Christmas love. There will be no service here this Wednesday evening because we know people are traveling. You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're getting ready for Thanksgiving. So there will be no service on campus of any kind this Wednesday. So just enjoy some time with your family. And again, no services this Wednesday. I'm sure there are some tickets still left for the production Miracle on 34th Street. If you have not been yet, make sure and head to the Granada today at 2 for the last showing of it. I'm sure I haven't been yet. I'm going this afternoon, but I'm sure it'll be awesome, so there's still time for that. And also mark your calendars for a White Christmas at Bluefield University. It is December 14th through the 16th, and you will see some smiling, familiar deal faces in that production. So again, White Christmas at Bluefield University. We need to go and support those guys as well. Also, mark your calendars. Our play will be December 3rd, Sunday night at 6 o'clock. If you have children in the play, they need to be here that Saturday before on December 2nd for our kids' dress rehearsal and party. The kids that are in the play, the big kids, need to be here at 9:30. The next batch needs to be here at 11:30. We will have our party at 1. We'll feed them lunch. We'll do some crafts, and then pickup will be at 1:30. So even if your children are not in the play, we don't want them to miss out on their Christmas party, so have them here on that Saturday. Also, the sign-up sheet for food for the play is on the table in the lobby. Please sign up as you leave, and we always go over to the gym after the play for a time of fellowship, and it's just always a good way just to celebrate the evening, and the kids always do such a good time, and we just head over for some fun and food and fellowship, so make sure and sign up and bring us some good food for that as well. We'll be dragging the totes after church. I know a lot of people are going to be scattered. I know a lot of people have to get to production. But if you can, please stay and help us. We have the totes to get down. We've got trees to drag out and get assembled and put together. If everybody pitches in, really, it probably shouldn't take no more than 30 minutes. We can start as soon as church is over. But we really need to make that happen so that we can transform the church this week. So you guys will be pleased, I'm sure, when you walk in next Sunday and see what the elves have done. There is open gym today in the gym from 7 to 8:30. And Coach Mike says upward evaluations are today at First Methodist for 5th through 8th grade, girls only, from 3:30 to 4. So if your girls are interested in upward, there's still a chance for that. Do we have any honors band kids in the house? Like any Marshall honors band kids? Stand up, Chris. In middle school, he made Marshall honors band. That is awesome. And who else? I can't see. Elijah, and I can't see. Dalton, good job, boys. Awesome. Woohoo. Lots of talent in this house. I'm telling you, lots of talent. I looked up in Google, because you know Google knows everything, the definition of Thanksgiving, and this is what Google said. Google directed me to the Oxford Dictionary. And I believe Oxford Dictionary got it right this time. The Oxford Dictionary definition of Thanksgiving directed by Google says, The expression of gratitude. Get this, this is from Oxford. Especially to God. The expression of gratitude, especially to God. And when you look up gratitude, gratitude is the quality of being thankful. And this week, between now and Thursday evening, I want each one of us to steal away for just a few minutes in the hustle and bustle of the week. And I want you to steal away, and I want you to get alone with God. And I just want you to simply tell him thanks. You don't have to elaborate. You can if you want to. But from your heart, the goodness of God, tell him thanks. For the hard, crappy days, for the days when things go well, and everything in between. I want you to steal away and just tell God thanks. Father, this morning we come to you with our tithe, with our gifts. God, from a heart of gratitude. Because, God, every single thing we have is from you. All the gifts and talents, God, that we have to put our hands to whatever it is that provides for our family. God, we are so mistaken if we think that that's of our own doing, God. Those gifts and those talents come from you. And, Father, we thank you for the gifts and the talents that you've blessed us all with. Nobody's gifts are the same. No two talents are the same. And God, that's your design. So we just honor you this morning, God, with a heart of gratitude, the heart of thanksgiving. So we sow into your kingdom that goes into the lives of so many people, God. We honor you this morning, God, with our hearts. Amen. Just bring your tithe and offerings forward, please, and children 3rd through 6th grade, gather at the back door for Kids Church.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beautiful neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor.
Oh, stop. How does that make you feel? I've heard my daughter singing that to me all morning. She walked in and saw me. And you know what? It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? It's almost like the old altar call, would you come? Would you come? Hey, let's see. What have I got here? We've been discombobulated like crazy this morning. No more than usual, but it's been strange. 10:33 and I'm up here preaching? Lord have mercy, I can still go an hour and get y'all out early. Oh yeah. For the get out early or the preaching for an hour, Austin? I don't usually get a lot of positive response when I say, I feel the preacher coming on today. So anyway, you all are very familiar with the story that I'm going to tell. It's a story about thinking outside the box. We're all familiar with thinking outside the box. And what an incredible idea that is if you really want to do anything with your life. You have to learn to think outside of the little box you're in. And the concept is that here is your world, and here's what you literally have and to work with. Here's your literal situation, and you can shrink inside of that box, and now you can live within that little box of here's all I have. Or you can think outside of the box. And if you think outside of the box, suddenly you find that your life might be going places that you did not go, maybe even as a businessman or all kinds of things. But today I want to talk about thinking outside that exact same box that we are taught to think outside of. I want to talk about thinking outside of it. It's a story of Jesus and his disciples, and they have just wearied Jesus everywhere he has went, and they've pulled on him, and he has counseled, and he has preached, and he has healed, and he is drained, and he decides to go around on the other bend of the lake and try to escape all the people. However, word got out that he was leaving here and going there, and the crowds began to follow him. And next thing you know, he has what appears to be the biggest crowd so far, 5,000 men, the Bible said, which means probably also a lot of family members there. There are thousands of people there. And so it is just beyond my comprehension how he did it, but he stood and he preached to the 5,000. I think about that today and the technology we would have to do that with sound systems, and it wouldn't even just be one big system at the front. It would have to be like they do at the mall in D.C. when they have events, like every so many 100 yards, you'd have to have another set of speakers, and it had to be somewhat supernatural. He's preaching to 5,000 people, and he's done, and the people aren't going home, and the disciples are there. I don't know if you've noticed how many stories the disciples seem to be worried about their own hunger. And so they play it off on the people instead of themselves. Say, hey, Jesus, the people are hungry. They're hungry. Send them away so they can go find food. And we're going to pick up the story where Jesus says, well, why don't you go feed them? And it's found in Matthew chapter 14. I'm just going to read verses 17 and 19. When he said, you go feed them, and the disciple says, we have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. That's all we have. When Jesus says, I want you to go do this thing. And they said, we can't do this thing because all we only have. There are so many sermons in this story. What an emphasis on the word only. We only have. And so we understand that thinking outside the box is actually limited when people think we only have. But we also are going to understand today it's not just thinking, it's also thanking outside of that box. When you say, here's all we have, we only have. And Jesus replied to them, bring them to me, he said, and he directed the people to sit down on the grass. And then taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, we only have. We can't do this. We are limited. We only have. And Jesus said, bring them to me. And he takes them. And the Bible says, and then looking up to heaven. Doesn't it seem like that there's something quite specifically happening here that God wants us to see, that when we take what we only have, and now we'll get a heavenly perspective on this, not an earthly perspective, but a heavenly perspective. We'll step back. We'll get a different view of it, a view from heaven instead of a view from earth, because the view from earth makes us say we only have. And when we have the mindset of thinking that we only have, I want you to understand today, it affects your mindset of thinking. Because when you think we only have, then your thanksgiving and your gratitude is also limited into that exact same box. Because you are boxed in with we only have. And so he takes what they only had, and he first thing, he looks up to heaven. And he gets a different perspective on it. And it says, and he gave thanks. And he broke the loaves. He gave thanks. The disciples are trapped in a box, and they're not giving thanks for what they have. They're actually complaining and excusing themselves. They're not even remotely in the mindset to take those 5 loaves and those 2 fishes in the midst of all that is going on and what is required of them by their Lord. Now, they're not even remotely thinking about being grateful for what they have. And Jesus, the model, the pattern, the Son of God, the forerunner and the first fruits of what we are to become. We are to follow His lead, not the disciples. We are to follow His lead. And He takes what they only had, and He looks to heaven, and He gets a heavenly perspective, a big picture perspective that is bigger than the box of 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And He lifts them up and He gives thanks. What they complained about, He gave thanks for. And the Bible is full of people like this who would seem very limited in where they're at and what they have, but they found the ability to thank outside of their box. David, writing several psalms about how he is boxed in by his enemies. He fears for his life, but he never ends a psalm without then progressing into gratitude, gratefulness, thanksgiving to God, declaring how good God has been to him and how he knows that God is bigger than the box he appears to be, and he gives thanksgiving. I thought about Daniel this week. Daniel, who had survived a Babylonian king, and now he's under the rule of a Persian king. And a lot of people forget that Daniel was a prisoner. Daniel was a slave. Daniel was not a Persian. Daniel was Hebrew, but he was in Persia now because of the Babylonian captivity, and now the Persians have overtaken the Babylonians, and they get the spoils of war, and part of that is all of their slaves. And thank goodness the wonderful king of Persia allowed whoever wanted to go back to their land, to Jerusalem, to rebuild their city if they wanted. But a lot of the people, it was much like with American slavery. When slaves were set free, a lot of slaves did not want to leave the plantations because they didn't understand, how do we go start our own life? And we've seen that in different cultures. When I was in Russia, just before, it was literally days, like 3 months after communism had fallen, and the people are given liberties and they're given freedom, and they can go start their life now and do what they want. And I watched as they just stumbled and tripped over themselves trying to figure out, what do we do? We don't know what to do with this. And Daniel he's a prisoner. But there's been an edict that has been declared by the king. Actually, he was tricked into it because there were people who didn't like the guys like Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They didn't like the Hebrew people. They didn't like their God influence in their Persian culture. And really, Daniel was being set up, and the edict was, if you pray to anybody, if you glorify, if you give thanks to anybody except for our king, who truly is God, then you're going to be killed. But Daniel still got in his little tower, as it were, and he opened the doors, and there's a lot of symbolism going on here as he opened the door to heaven. And oh, what a sermon that is within itself. And he boldly proclaimed thanksgiving to God every single day. He ended up in the lion's den because of it, and God rescued him. But the point I'm trying to make is that Daniel, that place he was praying from, was a picture of his life. He was in a box. He was a servant. He was a slave. And yet, he still found a way to thank outside of the box that he lived in. Thanking outside of the box. Jesus here, I want you to see that he gave thanks for what he had, not complain about what he didn't have. And oh, how that flies in the face of especially American culture. That he gave thanks for what he had instead of complaining about what he did not have. And that's what we call thanking outside the box. Thanking outside the box. Now, every year at Thanksgiving, I always pull off a lot of research for you that's not even based on the Bible, but based on what we have learned ourselves through psychology. And I was looking for current reports this time to see if anything changed. And I pulled off studies that have all taken place within the last 2 years. This one was finished in August 2021, actually. We think anything past 2020 has got to be right? Because it's been a catastrophe ever since. Harvard Health. Oh, Lord, I hate to use Harvard for anything right now because they're so dysfunctional. Harvard Health in their study said concerning gratitude, in positive psychology research, gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. We all want to be happy, right? Everybody wants to be happy, but we can't be happy because we're living in this little box and we only have. But if we had all these things outside of our box and our box got bigger and we put all those things inside of our box, maybe we could be happy. Well, Harvard Health, who started out as a seminary and now is probably the most secular institution on the planet, even they have said that gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. They went on to say that gratitude helps people feel more positive emotionally, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. They said people feel and express gratitude in multiple ways, but when they do that, it actually affects what we would call the triune man, body, soul, and spirit. It affects us in every single way. And they were pointing out that when it's strongly and consistently in play. The Mayo Clinic, maybe we can still trust them, a study that was finished in December of 2022. They said expressing gratitude is associated with a host of mental and physical benefits. Studies have shown that feeling thankful can improve sleep. It can improve your mood, and it can even improve your immunity, your immune system. Gratitude can decrease depression, anxiety, difficulties with chronic pain, and risk of disease. Isn't that crazy? That a secular study, not using the Word of God that has already more than confirmed these things, a secular study has noticed that gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, true thankfulness, affects us in such powerful ways. They ended up saying if a pill that could do what gratitude does, if there was a pill, everyone would be taking it. Everyone would be taking it. And yet, isn't it quite interesting that this is available for us all to take? UCLA Health Study, just recently, they said that gratitude reduces depression. A review of 70 studies that include responses from more than 26,000 people found an association between higher levels of gratitude and lower levels of depression. Can I tell you something? I'm always here to be a counselor. We're family. That's what we do. We help each other. But I want you to know that generally speaking, I have noticed a very clear track record with people who are battling depression. They have sat in my office. We have talked for hours and days and over years sometimes, and I have noticed that it is very consistent that rarely do I find a person battling depression who is a person of great gratitude. Always in the box talking about I only have this and I only have that and this isn't working and that's falling apart. Never the ability to open the door to heaven as Daniel did, as Jesus did, looked into the heavens and said, you know what? Forget about only. I'm going to think outside the box. And UCLA says that if a person can do that, that it lessens their anxiety, supports heart health, relieves stress, improves sleep. Isn't it funny how they're all consistent? They talked about how the gratitude releases dopamine and serotonin. You know, the happy chemicals in our body, the things that make you happy and feel good. You know, like when someone compliments you and you feel really good. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, thank you. And you're feeling so good. Or you do good at something and you win something, or you perform in something and you do really, really good and you feel good about yourself. My wife I've shared with you, my wife has asked me for years, why do you run these races? You know, you're killing yourself out there. And I said, man, I do it not for the start, not for the during, but when you cross that finish line, especially if you're happy with your performance, I mean, for 30 minutes, you have chemicals being released in your body. You are on top of the world. Take it from a guy who used to have some experience in the drug world. It's better than anything you could ever take. Dopamine and serotonin, man. If they had a pill for those, we'd all be addicts. They said that gratitude releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that produce happiness, energy, positivity, and health. What, isn't it crazy that all these major secular studies are saying, look, I know we've got many issues in life, the body, soul, and the spirit, and we're telling you, let's start making an adjustment. And the first adjustment you need to make is be grateful. Be grateful. They say that gratitude retrains the brain in how you see life. Well, isn't that interesting? Jesus takes the we only have and he looks up to heaven. He gets a bigger view. He sees things through the eyes of a spiritual person instead of a natural person living in a tiny box. There's 3 simple things here that the Lord has taught us in this story about how to become grateful, to follow his pattern. And the first one was quite simple. See the big picture. Stop looking at life in your little box and saying, well, I only, if I just had this, if I just had that, nothing is going right. Everything's falling apart in my life. If we can just see the big picture, get a heavenly perspective. If we can see the bigger picture, how many of you all will admit there's a whole lot more right in life than wrong? We take the one thing, the 2 things, maybe the 3 things that aren't going our way, and we put complete focus on that. And we completely forget. We forget that, oh my gosh, this person hurt my feelings. I'm so crushed. It's weighing on me, and now I'm battling it emotionally and mentally, and I'm depressed. And we get up and we get out of bed, and we walk to the sink, and we wash our face with the hot water, and it's like we take then a drink of cold water, and it starts moving things. It's go, oh, I think now I need to poop and I need to pee. And then we finish that, and we wipe our butt with soft toilet paper, and then we walk in there, and I'm walking through my day. I don't know if I'm walking through your day. We go in and we pull out our nice clothes and we put them on our body in our warm house and we go out and we get in our car and we turn the key or we push the button, however it works in your car, and it starts and we drive to this job that we have where we make money and blah, 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 blah. And all day long, every few seconds, there's something happening in our life that we say, oh, man, thank you for that, thank you for that, and thank you for that, and thank you that I can walk, and thank you that I can talk, and thank you that I can see, and I can smell again after COVID, right, little woman? Well, maybe not. And some days, depending on my schedule in the bathroom. And thank you that I can hear, and thank you that I can pick up things and I can grab things. And sometimes you need a little shake-up in life to remember to be grateful for stuff. And I've had that a lot the last 5 or 6 or 7 years of my life, as I haven't been able to do a lot of the things that I used to do. Today, I was... grieving, such a strong word. It's a very big word because it can be a little bit of grief and just overbearing grief. But I've been grieving a little bit because of this time of year. I always look forward to the week between this Sunday and next Sunday when Thanksgiving takes place, because you all leave here with everything looking, and then you come back next Sunday and you walk into just a winter wonderland, and it's just you walk into the lobby and it's like, yeah, and everybody wants to take pictures, and you come in here and go, oh man, and you get in the Christmas mood and it just feels good. And for years and years, I did all that pretty much completely by myself. And I would come home and I'd tell the little one, I'd say, well, I put up 36 feet of Christmas trees today, a 12-footer out there and 2 12-footers in here, and now we've expanded. We have 3 trees in the lobby, and God only knows how many trees are going to be in here when you come in next week. And there's 50 million totes upstairs and all kinds of stuff. And I had a helper. Remember Kenny that used to come here? Oh, man, he'd keep you on your toes, wouldn't he? And I had Kenny helping me for some years, and a lot of years I just didn't. And I would drag all those totes and everything down by myself. I would decorate. It wasn't because I had to; it's because I loved it. I loved it, and I looked forward to it. And then the days came where it's like, oh, I can't do what I used to do, and I can't carry the things that I used to carry, and it's like I get frustrated. And then when I get frustrated about what I can't do, I start shrinking into a little box. And it's like, well, I can only do this now, and I can only do that now. And you get focused on that, and before you know it, you're just ungrateful. And when you become ungrateful, you become hard to get along with. You get pessimistic in life. You don't see anything good. You only see the bad in everything. But the truth is, the reality is that you're surrounded by just tens of hundreds of thousands of good things in your life every single day. You should never go pee-pee without saying, thank you, Jesus. I got up this morning and I ate my cereal, pitch dark outside, and I'm going through my Sunday morning routine, and one of them is I'm eating my cereal with the milk so I can pop a whole bunch of pills, bunch of ibuprofen so that I can play the piano today. Because it's stupid arthritis, man. It's just right there in that wrist, and it gets in the joints, and it's like, and it gets hard, and I've tried to, I love building my steampunk lamps, and it's twisting all this iron together, and I have days, it's just like I'm almost crying. It's like, I just stop. I can't do that. I can't twist. And it's like, my gosh, this happens to old people. How is this happening to me? And so you do this, and you do that, and you learn what you've got to do, and before long, you'll just... You want to run, but you can't run anymore. You got something going on. It's like oh, I only. And the truth is I only, every single day of my life, I only still have most of my health to go do everything I want to do and need to do. And I have a beautiful home that I share with a beautiful family. God knows they're not perfect. I can't expect people to operate at my level. It's not even fair. I am a pastor. Everybody knows pastors are flawless and perfect, and we've got our stuff together, and we have everything and you need. And I wanted an 85-inch TV like we put in Larry's house over there, but but I've only got a 65-inch TV, but I sat so close to it, it might as well be a 1,000-inch TV. And it's like I'm right there on the field with these people, and I'm flipping around, and I'm watching all these games, and I'm comfortable, and I'm warm, and we're heating up the spaghetti from the day before, and it tastes so much better the day after, and it's just like it's so good, and I'm eating, and my body is processing it all the way from in to out, and it's just like life is good. I know that I joke about it, but it's hard for a constipated person to be thankful. That's why when you're little and you're grouchy, you're a child and you're grouchy and you can't get along with your parents and you're snapping at everybody and you're all out of sorts and everything, that's why your mama always says, you need to go sit on the pot. She knew. It's like, you need to poop. And then you do, and it's like you come out and it's like, oh, life is so good again. But the truth is, and especially as we all grow older, things are going to change in our life. People are going to change. You know, as you walk through life, you're going to be disappointed. Things just aren't going to happen the way that you want them to happen and need them to happen. Things are going to break. And it's going to be real easy to shrink inside of that box. And now it's going to be hard to think outside that box. You've got to see the big picture. The second thing Jesus taught us is you got to focus on what you have, right, and not what you don't. That's what we're talking about. You've got to do that. And last of all, he's just saying, and so see the big picture, focus on what you have instead of what you don't have, and now just give thanks with a grateful heart. Jesus honestly made it that simple. They say we only have. He takes the only. He looks into heaven. He gets a big picture view. He looks at what he has instead of what he doesn't have. Because what if we didn't have the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes? Then what would they do? They're saying we only have. And Jesus is saying, thank God we have this. Because he begins to break it. And not only does he feed thousands of people, there are 12 baskets left. And how many disciples were there? 12. A basket for each one of them to take home to their family or whatever they want to do. And he's trying to teach them, if you will see the big picture, if you will be grateful for what you have instead of what you don't have, see it. And just give thanks with a grateful heart. That story, incredible story, would have never happened if there wouldn't have been those 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And we're not talking about big loaves of bread like we use in America when we do our communions and everything. How many of you guys like flatbread? Because that's what it was. It was probably 5 pieces of flatbread, probably about that big around, about that thick. It wasn't even as much as we thought it was. They're saying we only, and Jesus is looking at the big picture, and he's seeing what he has instead of what he doesn't have, and he gives thanks. And because of the element of giving thanks, now that has put him outside of his box of only, and he's feeding 5,000 plus people. I want you to understand that the good things in your life, they're not a birthright. They're a blessing from God. Think of all the good things in your life. None of them do you deserve. Despite what American culture does, in every single marketing scheme, it's based on you deserve. And human flesh is like, yes, I do deserve that, don't I? And we don't deserve anything. There's nothing good in your life from your ability to get up this morning, brush your teeth, wash your face with hot water, do your duty, and dress yourself, get in your car, eat a good breakfast there or here or wherever, come here. There are none of those things that are a birthright. your spouse, your children, your health, your ability for anything in life. None of that is a birthright. It is a blessing from God. So stop feeling entitled. Stop feeling like you're entitled to anything. You're not entitled to anything. It's all a blessing from God. It's time to retrain the brain. It's time to see life in a realistic way. And just give thanks. Just give thanks. Are you here today and you're battling anxiety, stress, depression? Are you battling things in your health? According to these studies, are you battling something in your immune system? You're always just getting sick. It's one thing after another. What are you battling in life? Today, we're going to give you a pill. And if you take this pill, it's going to change your life. No thing in life, whether a Christian study or a secular study, can change your life more than this simple thing. Learn to give thanks outside of the box you live in. I want you now, every time you hear somebody use the phrase, you got to think outside the box, I want you to look at that person and say, yeah, and you need to think outside that box too, because they come together. So give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Is that right? Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. I want to pray for us before we go incredibly early. But if you stay here and you serve in the way that I really need you to today, it will make up for it. I was reading another study this week about gratitude and thanksgiving, and it completely focused on it's one thing to just generally say, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for life. But this study was saying that if a person really wants to begin to release these chemicals and see these improvements in their life through gratitude, they know they need to go to specific people and thank them for specific things. Not just generally say, well, I'm grateful for everything. We need to go to the people in our life that's given us a job, that's blesses us with a paycheck, the people in our family, a spouse that stays married to us despite ourselves, children that we've complained about, but such a blessing from God, and just anyone who has blessed us with kindness, benevolence of any way, that we need to go to those people and we need to learn to express our gratitude. Not just say thanks, but specifically tell them what you're grateful for. And that's what this article was about, how we need to be very specific with the people and then with the gratefulness, telling them, I want to thank you for this and what it's meant to me or what it's meant to my family. And this author said studies have shown that if a person can be that specific with their gratitude, it'll begin to change their life. And I want to challenge you to do that. I want to pray for you, but I want to thank you guys. There's so many people here that we depend on. And a lot of times it's the people, it's not even the people that you know about
that's ever in the spotlight or anything. It's the people that are always behind the scenes and just serving. And I always think about that, like on holiday Sundays, just the people that are still willing to serve in children's ministry when they'd rather be in here for something special going on, a special speaker or Christmas Sunday morning or something. And I always take, if you're back there, I always walk back there and I start handing out gift cards to the people who were willing to serve on those special Sundays, because it really means a lot to me personally, and I know it means a lot to God, but it means a lot to those children. It means a lot to the parents of those children, and I always feel very, very grateful to you for being willing to do what I know a lot of people are not willing to do. Man, just being back there on any Sunday and just the willingness to come here with no paycheck and come here and volunteer and serve and do the things that you do, keeping us safe with the safety team out there, and just people who come and keep all this stuff working, and I don't even know how it works or why it works half of the time, and some mornings like this morning, half of it doesn't work for a while, and weird things happen, but there are always people who know what to do, and they're jumping in there and they're fixing things. And even today, you have no idea how grateful I am that a bunch of you guys are going to go up and carry that stuff down, and there's 2 12-foot trees that you're going to bring out of here, and you've got to put the 12-foot trees together for me now. You don't have to fluff them or anything. And the one out there, the light comes on as soon as you stick those together. These, you don't, Sandy will fluff them, and Sandy will hook them all up, and she's going to decorate. She's got in here, and Hannah and I have out there. But Sandy is tied up with the production on today, and she can't be here to oversee this. I think Sarah May is going to oversee this part in here. Am I correct? Look, I'm just going to start throwing out names out there, and Austin's going to be in charge of. But I have learned, especially the last few years, the Lord has humbled me, put me in physical situations where I've had to depend on people like I never had to. I'm my Father's son. You shouldn't have to ever depend on anybody, figure out how to make it happen. But I haven't been able to do that as much. And so I've learned to be very, very grateful when people step in and do the thing that I can't do now. And I love you all. And I just want you to know, I'm very grateful for you. Every time you walk through that door, you don't have to be here. You don't have to come here. You could go to somewhere else, or you could stay in bed and sleep, but you get up and you get your family here. And I'm very grateful to you for that. I thank you for that. And if you stand with me, I'm going to bless you. Somebody get me my super soaker full of holy water. We're just going to bless everybody. Father, today you have reminded us of the simplicity of how you have made humanity to work, body, soul, and spirit. You have given us an antidote to depression, maybe not completely, but in a way, Lord, that helps. It's a spiritual medication that has a ripple effect in our life. When we're battling stress and anxiety, and we're going through troubles, Father, with finances and just with family things and just all the many things that can happen, and when we're battling things in our body, and Lord, just we're trying to figure out how to get things to work in this little box we're living in. Today we're reminded if we can learn to start thinking outside the box, that our view will be heavenly. And we will be filled with gratitude, and we will begin to release that gratitude, and it will release dopamine and serotonin in our bodies, and it will release Jesus into our souls, and it's supernatural, consistent in our life. Help us to do that. And you all said, amen. All right, let's get out of here. It's 11:12. Is that a record? I think we let out at 11:09 once.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood